Hi everyone, my name is Brandon. I'm a real estate agent in the state of New Jersey. I've been licensed technically since 2022. I made my license a referral license when I got my full-time corporate job in August of 2023, but then I reinstated my license again in June of 2025. I'm making this video because I don't know how many agents find themselves in the same boat that I'm currently in, which is finding the time to prospect organically and it being really difficult to do so. Generating leads, knocking on doors, cold calling, all that stuff. It's hard to do it when, I'm juggling a 9 to 5 and also trying to be a real estate agent. And I know, being a realtor requires, dedication and lots of time, but I also know that there's an investment side to the business, which is kind of what I'm going to approach and what I'll be making videos on for now. And the way I'd pretty much like to approach this is, paying for Zillow leads. I've heard plenty of good, plenty of bad for Zillow leads. A lot of it depends on the market you're in. It depends how the market as a whole is doing, right? So the approach that I'm going to take, and I'm going to start now with these last, 2 months, but also continue into next year, is by investing into zip codes where you get a fixed number of leads per month. So I'm going to start with $3,000 and I've divided that into $1,000 a month. So started around mid-November. I'll put the exact date somewhere there. And that'll go on until I believe February. I'm in New Jersey, so it's really competitive here. Real estate is still pretty highly priced. The inventory fluctuates. But the way that my market is set up, I bought one zip code and I bought 5 leads for $1,000. That's what my budget got me per month. So across 3 months, that's 15 warm leads based on what Zillow, kind of says. And that could be a mixed pile of leads. It could be someone that's expecting to tour a home. It could be someone just calling to ask about a property, or it might just be someone that you need to nurture and isn't ready to talk to an agent right away. I will say, so it's been, I think, a week and a half since I joined their Premier Agent program, and I've currently got 1 lead. It's not the hottest lead. This customer called me, I got connected through Zillow. He was kind of just asking about a house that was already under contract. But regardless, he went into my nurture list and I've been following up with him ever since. It's been a week and a half, I would say. He got that call pretty quick. So now it's just a matter of working, right? The client and being there with any questions that he might have, answers, and so that when he is ready to buy and when he's ready to pull the trigger, because he's still in the early stages, that I'll be there and I'll be top of mind. With that being said, so $3,000, 15 leads. I know from the research that I've done, the average, at least in my market, is 25 leads per closing. So when you do the math, technically I'd need to spend probably another 2,000. So that'll bring my total to 5K. My current brokerage split is 50-50, only because, again, I'm a newer agent with this brokerage. My first 3 deals are basically, I get walked through the entire process and then I get to choose my split. And it's all based on a cap, right? Based on the performance that you might expect for yourself. I'll be choosing the 80-20 just because the cap is higher, but I'm not expecting to hit that cap. So therefore I'd rather be in the 80-20 split. It makes the most sense for me. So I'll be posting videos to, give updates on how it's going for any agents that, might be interested in the Zillow Premier Agent program. What I've found is that a lot of it is also play to win, of course, right? You have to build your network, and I'm doing that organically, regardless of, paying for leads. There's always a network that you have to build within your sphere, right? Within your neighborhood. And I am working on that, but not as abundantly as I wish because of my job and because of, other personal life things that I have to juggle. So that's why I want to attack this with a pay to win mentality. Of course, I know results will vary. It depends on work ethic. What works for me may not work for somebody else, and vice versa. I've acknowledged that already. So I will give it a shot. I want to test it into next year. I'm willing to invest, willing to play with this money. I know not everyone has, that flexibility with their money, but I want to make this video to kind of show you how it goes for me. And if you do have the money to invest, or if you have even a little bit less and you're in a, not as dense of a market as I am, then you can try it as well. So again, I'll be giving updates. $1,000 for the next 3 months. We'll see how that goes. That's supposed to be 15 leads. I will say, I'll explain a little bit also with Zillow Premier. Basically, the way it works is Zillow connects you to a customer. If a customer is on the other line and they want to talk to an agent, it's based on share of voice. So zip codes typically have a number of agents that work in that market when you pay to be in that market. And sometimes zip codes can be sold out. So this zip code luckily wasn't sold out. A lot of them in Jersey are actually, especially here in central North Jersey where I am. And it's based on share of voice. So the more you invest, the more leads you get. Just to give you an idea, 5 leads is $1,000. It's not much, especially considering that sometimes people contact an agent thinking that they're talking to the listing agent, or just because they're curious and have a random question, may not be ready to buy a house. So I'm thinking of it as a long-term investment, right? And I will calculate my ROIs later down the road. I plan to invest the entire year of 2026 into it and then kind of see if it makes sense to continue doing so. I don't expect to get a closing out of, these first 5 leads. If it happens, well, that's, even better. But of course, that's not the expectation. And again, like I was saying, it's based on share of voice. So $1,000 only gets me 5 leads. I get 13% share of voice. And I think the maximum is like 300%, something like that. And I know there's agents in my zip code that have like, I would say 40% share of voice. So you can only imagine how much they're investing a month, right? And I'm sure they're buying other zip codes. So I am also part of the Flex program, not individually, but through my brokerage. That's still in the early stages. I haven't finished all the onboarding yet. So I'll hopefully be getting some leads through that Zillow Flex team program from my brokerage, but that'll be for another video. And it might be more niche to people who have that available to them. Not every brokerage offers it. This one for me specifically does. So yeah, that's kind of, the update. So for now, let's look at this as a challenge, 90-day challenge. We'll see where we get with 15 leads. But again, I'm expecting to have to invest more, and I will gladly do so. I understand, again, not everyone is in this position to do so. But I want to make this video so that the people that, have money to kind of invest into their business can kind of explore options. I've thought about Google ads. I've thought about Yelp ads. I'm still kind of doing my research and seeing what works for me. This was the easiest route because, Zillow is Zillow. Everybody pretty much knows about Zillow. All realtors know about it. It's the biggest platform for home searches. So yeah, I'll give you guys an update in about a month or so on this specific challenge, right? And we'll see how it goes. Unfortunately, I missed a call this morning. So it's 24/7, right? Typically calls come around 8 or 9, between 8 a.m. to 9 p.m. And I did not catch the first one this morning. And what they said was, I don't lose my place in queue, so the next lead that comes should be mine. But we'll see about that because I haven't got anything else today. But we'll carry that on, and I'll give you guys an update. And you guys let me know if there's anything that you want me to share from my experience with the program. But I'm willing to take this risk and invest into the business. It's kind of a risk and reward type of thing for me, and I'm willing to play that game. So I'll give you guys an update, and thank you for watching.